For our member of enjoyingart.com, I'm looking forward to seeing you in our fun and relaxing Friday painting together. If this is your first time to our channel, it's all about making art easy with relaxation. Push like, share, subscribe, and turn on notification. The color I'm using, Winsor Yellow, is a Winsor & Newton Professional Watercolor. Winsor Red and Winsor Blue green shade. For the foundation big shapes, I'm using this 1-inch flat brush. It's gold here. And for the details, I'm going to use this calligraphy brush. If you want to learn more about the paper, the brushes, the paints, you can take a look at the video description. Where's the focal point? Where we're going to put it? So I'm going to use a little light red color because a red house. I'm looking at my my drawing study, so that will be right in this location. Okay, like that, and here you go. So this is the house, and we can change the angle if you want. I think that probably the chimney also should be red, isn't it? So make it stand out a little bit more, like that. So this is the house. You can take the liberty to modify the house however you want. Okay, you don't have to stick to it or what it looked like. So this is the location of that. I'm going to use a little gray color now. I'm going to take a look at, so the tree is going to be at the bottom over here, all the way coming over here, and then start coming up. There's a path, so I'm going to coming over here like this, and make a little kind of like a broken. It doesn't need to be like a very quick movement. So a little bit slowly, like that. So I have that, a little path. I'm thinking about to have those group of yellow shape over here, and making sure we're gonna getting that also here, like the shape over here, and getting on this side like this. Think about the movement, the house to make the movement look interesting. Like that, and coming over there. So we're probably going to let go of the color over here, and coming back over here. Two different groups of trees. I'm going to start going to paint the color and then apply the salt. Okay, I'm going to have just the blue color, like that, and the color may be a little bit too bright, maybe a little red shade blue if you have some. I'm going to mix these two blue color together. It may be the color a little bit better, not so green. Now I'm going to start from the top over here. Take a little bit more water, apply the color, all the way coming down like this, almost like a wet the paper before we paint. So now I'm going to get a little bit crazy, take the risk. I'm going to put a little bit more blue color over here, two different blue color mixed together, like that. And I'm going to coming down over here. You can see over here that is the end of this like horizon line. You can see that the end over there. Okay, that's snow. Now I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to have a little bit darker color and add a little red color. Okay, like this. I'm going to have this color over here, and then I don't want to get it too high. It's just a little bit like this, painting around the red house. And we're going to using lifting for the smoke, like that. I'm going to come to the front over here. I'm also going to have the gray color with the red and the blue color together, like this. Get to the back of this. That's just good, like that. Think about the timing. I'm gonna have this a little bit the yellow color over here, like that. And for the tree over here, we can use the a little detail work a little bit later. So I'm gonna let go of this. That's fine. And down over here, I'm gonna let go a little water because my paper laying is about 10 degrees, the excess water coming down. So the top is getting drier much quicker. So now I'm gonna start working with the salt. Now this is the table salt. I'm gonna take a look at where's the space I'm gonna apply it. Now here you go. Right here, that's the shape. I'm gonna put my head lower so I can see. Like that. Because it's very wet on the top over here at this timing. It will become, and also some area you want to have a little bit more shadow. You want to apply less salt. Okay, so we're gonna see how it's gonna look, and apply it a little bit, and like have bunches, and somewhere has a little bit more, somewhere have a little bit less. That's okay. However you're gonna come up with, we're gonna work with it. Also applying a little bit over here. Now take a look if you can, how much you can control. But no worry if something not really come up the way you want it. And we probably can remove them to see how the effect is going to form after the time. Okay, now the paper already dried and the salts already stopped working. So I'm going to remove all the salts. So I'm going to remove them off the paper. So we're going to get into our next step of the painting process. The first thing I'm going to do is to modify the shape. So the first thing, I'm going to move the shape a little bit higher. So just use this flat brush. I'm going to see if I'm going to, at least I'm going to soften it, make it a little bit lighter. I don't want the shape is so strong. Move that a little bit higher. This brush has a lot of hair and a very good shape. I have trained it enough so it's listening to me. Okay, that's a little bit better. Now I'm going to start making this a little bit lighter on the top over here. I'm going to remove the color, make a little bit lighter, like this. That's the shape. That's good. And I'm going to soften that a little bit, make it a little lighter. I'll come back with a calligraphy brush to create those small shape. All right, now I'm going to start separate this group from the back. And now I'm going to mix a little bit darker color and the Winsor blue green shade, and with the red can make something really gray. This is good, like this. All right, I'm going to start adding some shape. Try to keep as much as the texture that we created it. Like that. Just use the corner of this, tap on it, and to see what we can do based on what we have and what we try to get. Like that. Okay. That's good. Have something over here. Also on the back over here, I'm gonna have something a little bit lighter. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna have something over here. have a little bit darker tree over here. Just use the corner of this. You don't want to remove and destroy all the. That's good. I'm gonna try to do a little bit less. Still keep a little bit. It looks like coming down like this. That's okay. Okay. Just tap tap. And over here, have a little bit over here, like that. Alright, on the top over here too, have a little bit darker color, like the shadow of those, the whole group. Okay, I think that's pretty good already. Now I'm gonna dry my brush a little bit, just spread this color so I have a little bit transition, like not all something like a stick over there. Okay, that's good, like that. Be very careful. You can remove, destroy all the textures. Just tap tap. Okay, now my brush is pretty dry. Just barely touch. Like simple. Like a little bit over here too. Just have a little dry brush. It's already in a interesting separation. So now I'm gonna come back with the calligraphy brush, making sure you have a sharp brush so you can getting that some of the interesting lines into the painting. So I'm gonna just have a little bit gray color, start a little bit lighter, and then get a little bit darker. Now here we go. We're gonna have a little line over here. I'm gonna see, and also paint a little line, like a little. The line is not connected. Make it a little broken. That's okay. Like that, because there's no tree and blocking out some of the things. So I'm gonna blocking out the branches. Right. You just have to try some new way to do it. And each time you can come up something can maybe inspire you. Have some inspiration for a new. Oh, so some over here a little dry, a little, and actually nice texture. And I'm gonna come up over here and really have some really thin line. You see that? Really thin. The way you can make it thinner and you can use less paint. So I'm gonna make it a little bit drier. Lots of paint in this brush. So you can make it the line a little bit thinner. Easier to control. Like that. Also the line make it a little broken. So over here I'm gonna have something a little bit darker tree. So I'm gonna let go most of the paint. The brush is very much like a dry. So I'm gonna coming over here. See that? I'm gonna make something look like a little darker, but it's a little drier. Some dry texture. Like that. Here you go. I'm gonna get a little bit, make it a little bit darker. have some a little bit darker here and kind of look a little bit soft. And have over here, I have a little bit, little line. And I'm gonna have the top over here also showing a little darker tree over here, but it's very dry. That's good. It's all about illusions, all about how you create that feeling. So squint your eye, you can see a little bit better. Okay, now I'm gonna come to the other side. And for the bottom over here, for the trees coming down over here, like that, and have some a little bit thicker, and some a little bit thinner. Like that. A few lines over here. That's good. Okay, a little bit over here. Okay, I think the tree is okay. I'm gonna make something even darker to make it a little bit deeper. So I'm gonna have some a little bit over here. I'm gonna just dropping it in. I have something even darker like that. And over here too. I'm gonna add a little line at the side over here. I have the very thin line, some of the small tree. Some you want, some you don't want to keep. I'm gonna remove that color like that. That's fine. Okay, like this. I'm gonna come back here. They have a little bit yellow-orange color for this. That's okay, like that. And it looks like the painting is almost there. And we come back over here to put the light color for the shape of those poses. Like over here, I'm gonna have one. I'm gonna have it come down a little bit instead of just keep staying up there. So I'm gonna have another one over here. Have a little bit different angle, slightly. Just like that, I'm gonna add something over here too. And maybe something a little bit. And we come back to add a little shadow side of this. And for the snow, we can just use the blue color, right? Just a light blue, gray color. And I'm gonna have something like come up over here, make it a little bit lighter, a little bit more as a blue. Okay, like that. See a little shadow of the snow. That can have very, very light. Okay, now for the shape over here, we also need to have some kind of feeling of the snow. Walk through over here like that, have the pad. So that's good enough. And maybe in the middle, you can see a little dirt, right? So I'm gonna have a little warm color, a little bit. You can see a little dirt over here. And that's good enough. You don't want to do more than this. Okay, like that. And the side over here, still seeing a little bit like the snow over here. It has some of the different shapes. Like that. That's good. And now I'm going to add some darker color in the shadow over here. And we're gonna have a little experiment. Put that in, this is a little bit. And then put a little bit darker color over here. I'm gonna wet this, showing this how those areas, we wet this. Here you go, like this. I'm gonna have this moving down a little bit. And I'm gonna have this tree over here. So this area is already wet. I'm gonna, for the transition, I'm gonna use the brush and soften it like that. And also in this area, I'm gonna have it wet again because I want these trees look a little bit darker. And this the second time we're gonna apply salt. All right. Now we're gonna apply the salt. And gently. Putting into the wet area. Okay. Now I'm gonna wait about 10 minutes. So while we're waiting for that, we're gonna paint the house. So let's take a look at. We're gonna have the rooftop to be white because assuming there's the big snowstorm just came. So I'm gonna just put the red color, put it right over here. See, there's right underneath. So leave the rooftop to be white. Like that. And also the front of the house, I'm gonna leave the little light shape for the window. Like that. Here you go. Like that. That's good. So, and followed by the little brighter red. Okay, now coming over here and have a little, leave a little light shape for those snow tree in front of the house. There you go, that's good. And the window is kind of darker than the house, darker than the wall, so I'm gonna have it except that little white line at the bottom. I'm gonna leave that. Okay, that is very bright. That's good. And the top over here, I'm gonna make some even darker color. And you don't want to think is black color, so it's just dark color. I'm gonna have this really dark, and as is the shadow as well. See that? It's good. And the chimney, we're gonna the color a red dark color for the chimney. There you go. Well, that's good. The shape in front of the house is just coming over here. Okay, put it down like this, a little small skinny triangle like that. There you go. Have a little big line over here on the top. That's good. Okay. And at the end over here, I'm just going to put a little gray color to show it a little bit extension. That's good. Like that. Maybe have a couple small posts. Okay. Maybe a little bit over here. And maybe a little bit over here. That's fine. Like that. Now I come back those poses. I'm gonna have the shadow side. Okay, a little shadow over here. Okay, have a little big shadow on the side. Look at the bottom, actually, it's a little bit darker. That's good. So observe. So what it should look like. Have a little bit wet. Have those connected. A little bit softer. That's good. So nice. There's not much light. So there is not a very strong cast shadow. Maybe a little bit, very light, like that. If you put the shadow, it will be the same kind of shadow color for everything in the snow, because under the same lighting, the same color of lighting. So I'm gonna have, okay, on the row over here, have a little red color. That's showing that. That's fine. Now I'm gonna have some darker color. The red and the Prussian blue, or the red with the Windsor blue green shade. Okay, now it's much darker, so I'm gonna have the window Here you go. I can see the inside a little bit dark. And the corner of the house have a little dark line, and also under the roof has a little bit darker, like that. Okay, so this house is good. We're gonna have a little bit suggestions of the thickness of the snow by having a little blue color right at the edge over here. So that would help. Now the paper already dried. Now I'm gonna remove the salt. But the edge over here, I have to use the calligraphy brush to create some the texture from the tree. So I'm gonna just have the brush like this, open it up, and have a little bit more here stick out like this. And I'm gonna have just the same color like this, coming out like this. Right. A little bit on the top over here. Oh, much better. Like this. Okay. That looks pretty good. Now the last thing we're gonna do is to make some smoke coming out. Here you go. I did not forget that. I'm gonna have just use the corner of this brush, and now it's already softened a little color. Now I'm gonna have here you go. Create some feeling of smoke. It's already seeing it. There's a little smoke. It really create some connection. And adds some interest to the painting. Just use the lifting. There you go. Now it's done.